Hello, good evening and welcome. You're with me, Zaza, the Inappropriate Quilter. Thanks for tuning in and joining me tonight. And just going to have a look and see who's all here. Well, Michelle checked in this afternoon very early, so I don't actually know if she's here or not, because Michelle likes to be first. Donnell's here. Joyce Hernandez is here. Joyty's here. Joyce. Klein Island is here. I don't know if I pronounced that properly, Joyce. I'm sorry if I butchered it. Otherwise known as Joyce K. Mary G's in the house. Nikki's in the house. Ellen's here. Guess who? Nancy's here. Dawn's here. And Day's here. Welcome, everybody. Oh, and Linda's here. She's just jumped in. So welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming tonight. Tonight we're going to do, or I'm going to do, and you can watch, drawstring reusable Christmas bags. They're Christmas tree shaped. I nearly said Santa shaped. It's been one of those days. So yes, they're shaped like a Christmas tree, which I thought was a bit nicer. Now this pattern is by notchesewing.com and you get 3 sizes, small, medium and large. I had hoped to be really organised. Hi Mona. And have one sewn up for you. Today got away from me. It was one of those days. So there's more people coming in. Brian's here. Hi, Brian. I pronounced it perfectly. Thank you, Joyce. It is Klein Island. I think Joyce K is easier. I have to admit that. Mona's here. I hope I haven't missed anybody. So yes, I'm going to do Christmas tree-shaped gift bags tonight. And that's the plan. So the one I'm going to do tonight is the medium-shaped bag. Now the pattern is by sewingnotches.com. And you do get 10% off your first order. But I will say, if you are going to buy the pattern, it's massive. It was 24 pages. The first 15 pages are pattern pieces for all 3 sizes. They print out first, and then the rest are instructions. And what you could do is you could just cancel the print then, because there is a YouTube video to go along with it. And you could just watch the video and not have the written instructions. And that would save quite a bit of printing. I printed the pattern pieces out on £65 cardstock that I use from English paper piecing, because I like having something a bit sturdier for drawing round. And there's 4 pieces for each bag. There's the tree shape outer bag, there's the lining, there's the drawstring bit for the top, and then this is for the trunk. The first one I'm going to do, I am going to do the trunk, but I'm not sure if I'll do the trunk on all of them. We'll see. Hi, Jim. Welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. I don't think I've missed anybody in the chat. Oh, I did see Michelle is here, I think. I just saw somebody say hello to Michelle. So I was trying to be organised this morning, and I did sew the lining. Now it does say in the pattern that the lining has to be sewn at 3/8 of an inch, not a 1/4 inch seam. And I think that's just so it's a little bit tighter. And I see there's more people coming in. Misty's here from Made by Misty. Dubravka's here, who I think's name is Debbie. I think. I'm usually quite good with remembering people's names, but it is a bit late here. So Sherry's just joined, and Judy Hebert. So welcome, welcome. I should have waited. Maybe I should give it another couple of minutes before we jump in and start, so I don't repeat myself. Tonight, I'm going to do these Christmas tree-shaped gift bags. And I'll maybe wait a couple of minutes and just see who else is going to join, so I don't keep repeating myself. I'll show you the Happy Meal that came today when I was out. And I will say the link for the pattern is in the description. So you just need to click on that and it will take you to the pattern. Happy Meal, Calf Facet. It's the Calf Collective and it's the 20-piece fat quarter bundle. This one's ruby, so it's all the reds, which are pretty. I love Calf Facet and I love the bright colours. I like the reds, the blues. There was 3 bundles that I liked, but the wallet didn't stretch to 3. So I went for the blues and the reds and think they'll look great together. And the other one was the greens, which I also really liked. But as I say, the budget didn't stretch to 3. So these 2 won. And some more people have joined. I see. And the chat's moving quite quickly tonight. Misty's here. I did see somebody else's name pop up. So your real name is Dubravka, and I did say it right. Thank you. I don't know why I thought in the chat somebody called you Debbie. I must apologise for that. Yes, calf's one of my favourites. I did thought I saw Roberta in here, and I can't see her now. So, Roberta, if you're here, hi, welcome. If not, just excuse me, it's late. So yes, I thought these would look great together. Big, bold calf prints, and I have an idea for a quilt for these in the new year, and that's giving me 40 fat quarters. So I should be able to do something great with these. Oh, Deb's joined us. She's in the house now. Hi, Deb. And another exciting announcement. Today I reached 400 subscribers. So yay! This is when if I was one of the pro YouTubers, I would have the little cheer button that would go, yay! So thank you to everybody that's subscribed. That's great news. It really made my day. Quite delighted by that. Yes, thank you, Jim. Don't forget thumbs up. It's much appreciated. It lets YouTube know that you do like what I'm doing. So as I say, 400 subscribers, I was quite delighted. So with that, thank you, everyone. I am going to start again with tonight I'm going to make these reusable gift bags, Christmas tree shaped, and I'll show you the pattern pieces because that does give you a good idea of the sizes of the bags. The one I'm going to make tonight is the medium, and it's this size. The large is quite a good size for bigger presents. I like to keep all my pattern pieces together. That's the lining for the large. But there's the large, so that's quite a good size. To go back a bit so you can see. It's that'll make quite a good size bag. Although I do thrive on chaos, I like to have all my pattern pieces and things all clipped together. And the small one is really cute. it's dinky, but that would be great for gift cards and things, or a few little treats, or if you're buying somebody nice jewellery, or, you know, a little gift box, this would be perfect. So tonight I'm going to make the medium bag, and I have cut out all the pieces, and they're going to fall down now. So you cut out 2 of this shape for your outside pattern, and I have chosen tonight this blue fabric for the medium bag, and it's gnomes, and it glows in the dark, which I thought was quite cute. I should switch all the lights off and see how well it glows. Because for the big bag and the small bag, I'm doing the green gnome fabric. So that's what the big bag and the small bag, and I thought for making a set of 3, I'll have the middle bag the opposite. Oh, Lisa's in the house. She's up late tonight. It's not like you, Lisa, to still be up at this time of night. Thank you, Donnell. Yeah, I'm quite delighted reaching 400 subscribers. So I did pre-cut, because cutting takes me ages. That's where I make a mistake. So you do 2 of the outside one, and then pin it right sides together. 2 of the lining, which is a funny shape, thankfully. You don't have to poke out all the tree bits. 2 of these. 2 of this shape, which is for the drawstring at the top of the bag. And the tree shape, the trunk, is a piece like this that you fold in half and stitch a 1/4 inch seam down each side. And as I say, I was hoping to get one done. So I've already stitched a 1/4 inch down each side of this and turned it the right way out and given it a press. That's the trunk. For the channel, for the drawstring, you fold over each end a 1/4 inch, press it, and then stitch it so that your ends are finished, and then you fold it in half. So you do that to both of them, so it's got a finished edge. And then for the lining piece, you sew 3/8 of an inch. It's quite specific, 3/8 of an inch for the lining round, and you leave an opening in the bottom. Now, on all the pieces, there are notches at the top, and on the lining, there's one on the bottom, and on the lining, there's 2 for your opening. Now, she said to snip these. I never like doing that in case I snip too far. I always just mark them. And I don't know if you can see that I've marked it with a light chalk. I think it's just to get everything to line up. And of course, the ones that I marked on this, I marked with a heat erasable pen, and they've vanished. So I'll need to remark them. Hi, Jean, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm just going to fold this one over in half to get the middle and do a finger press. And that way I know where I am. I think that's the best way to go, seeing as I've already folded the ends over. And squirrel brain me forgot that I used a heat erasable pen, and the marks vanished. I used chalk on the other pieces. So the pattern, I haven't made one before. I'm winging it tonight. Those of you that know me know this is very typical of me. So as I say, it says to cut out the notches, which I didn't do. I marked them. I've shown you these that were fold over a 1/4 inch, and then fold over a 1/4 inch again, press it, and then sew down the edges with your seam allowance so that you've got nice finished edges, and then fold in half, wrong sides together. I folded that piece in half, stitched down each side, and turned it the right way out and pressed it. That's the trunk. So we've done those bits. She said to use a knitting needle to turn the pieces, but I use this clover doohickey thingamabob Oh, hi, Arlie. Welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. And it's great. It's got a curved point, which is handy for getting into things, for turning. But it's got a silicone bit on this end, which is great if you're pressing small things because it won't melt with the iron, but stops you burning your fingers. So this is by Clover, and I really like that. So next it says, on the right side of one of the outer pieces, center the trunk. So I'm going to turn this small camera that I've got sitting at the sewing machine to face me here so you can see what I'm doing. So if you get motion sickness, look away now. Right, there you go. There's a close up. So I'm going to open that up. And my marks, of course, are on the wrong side of the fabric, not the right side. So they're not any good because it says to line up on the right sides. So again, good old finger press. Where would we be without finger pressing? And then this gets tucked in here. And you put both the pieces back. I'm going to put a pin there. And it says stitch in place close to the edge. So I'm going to take the pin back out. And I've got my machine now that I'm going to do this, and I've moved the camera. I'm going to move it back to the sewing machine. So that was good fun for nothing. I'll switch you back round if you, as I say, close your eyes if you get motion sick. Moving you back round and just checking that you can see. So I've just folded I had right sides pinned together. So I've got that lined up, and I'm just going to sew as close to the edge as possible just to keep it in place. I don't want to sew 1/4 of an inch. I don't want that to show. The machine sounded like it farted there, didn't it? It made a funny noise. So that's squint, as you can see, but it's still just at the edge. It's enough to hold it in place. And I can put my pins back in. Now these are the Taylor Seville magic pins, but they're the flathead ones, and these are my very best favourite. I prefer these to the normal Taylor Seville pins. And I'm going to move the pins in a bit because they're a bit too close to the edge for actually stitching. I always do that. I don't know if anybody else does that when I pin things, and then when I come to sew I have to move the pins. Do it every single time. Before I got these pins, I liked the Clover ultra fine flathead pins, but I like these ones. And it says in the pattern, clip together if needed. Sew around the sides, bottom, pivoting at all the corners with a 1/4 inch seam. So I've got my 1/4 inch seam. I checked it. I quite often use my little hem guide, seam guide, just to check, because it's easy to just line up with the edge of the foot and just check that you are at your... This machine does have a 1/4 inch stitch, but it's for a different foot. And it doesn't like me using the foot that it's not supposed to. And I'm going to go a little bit slower because there's lots of pivoting here. I'm going to go down a little bit. I'm getting caught in the pins, and I'll probably be swearing in a minute. I'm going to jag myself because these pins are super sharp, and I always jab myself with the pins. But I knew on a shape like this that if I didn't pin it, it would get away from me. I need one more stitch. I'd rather be a stitch short than a stitch too far. Yeah. We might be here for some time tonight, guys, watching me do this. Oh, Michelle is here. Sorry, Michelle, I was talking about you earlier. I was saying how you were first here, but you probably weren't here because you signed in at the middle of the afternoon. But you are here, so thank you for coming. Hi, Sheila. Welcome. Thanks for coming. So, yeah, these are an extra couple of stitches. I always find when you're sewing at an angle, it's difficult to guess your seam allowance. It's much easier on a straight, if you're doing like a straight bottomed bag. Partly because there's notches on the foot that let you know when you've got to the 1/4 inch, which don't work when you're sewing at an angle. And I have got navy blue thread in this for doing this bag because there's top stitching to be done, and I hate top stitching done when it's got the wrong colour thread. I don't care if anybody else does it, but I don't like doing it on my projects unless it's meant to be a contrasting top stitch to match something else in the project. So as I said, the pattern links for this are in the description. Hi, Melissa, welcome. And you do get 10% off your first order. There was quite a few nice patterns, actually. I do need to go a bit further. That they had. And some of you have probably heard of them because it's a massive YouTube channel. And they're big on Instagram, which is where I found it. I didn't realise they had a YouTube channel as well. I saw this on Instagram. All over Instagram this week, these bags. But this seemed to be the first person that had a pattern posted. The other ones were all after this one. So I went with them. Whether they were actually the first to do the pattern or not, I went by the dates. Right, so I have sewn all the way around. Don't look too close at the stitching. Hi, Joe, welcome. It's not a free pattern, Joyty. It's a paid-for pattern by notchesewing.com. The link is in the description. There is 10% off. I mean, if you wanted to, you could, I'm sure you could work out how to do it. It's not rocket science. But I usually like to try and support pattern writers. People have gone to the effort to make, and it's a good pattern, and you get 3 sizes. So stitch around this. I've stitched around the lining, and now This is optional. Trim the bottom corners of the lining without cutting the stitching. And then for the outer piece, we've got trimming to do. So I will trim, and I'll move this camera around again, and just 3, 2, 1. And I see Jennifer in the house from the Cheeky Quilters. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for joining us. Hi, K Money Quilting. Oh, that's Regina. You did change your name. You went with it. Cool. So hi, Regina. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Shalom. Are you still not feeling great with that new medicine, Shalom? Sorry to hear that. Don't know if I've missed. I hope I've not missed anybody else coming in. If so, I do apologise. So again, this is a pattern by Notches Sewing, and there's 10%. Oh, I think I've gone a bit too close to that stitch line. Trim the corners. So that's the corners of the bag trimmed, and now for this, you've got to clip in for these, the inside corners clip up to the stitch line and trim off the points on the outer corners. So trim off, and I usually like to skinny them down a little bit, like that, if you can see that okay. So I'll do all the outies first, and then we'll go back and do the innies, which always makes me think of belly buttons. That was my big horror when I was pregnant. Somebody told me that your belly button could pop out. Nothing against people that have a belly button that sticks out. I just didn't want mine to. And the thought of it kind of freaked me out. Luckily, it didn't happen. Of all the things that could happen to you when you're pregnant, your belly button popping out shouldn't really be the biggest thing that you worry about, but it was quite high up there, actually. Bizarrely enough. And now I'm going to do the innies and nip into the stitch line and try not to cut through the stitch line. And I've done that quite a lot of times. These scissors are great. These are the Karen K. Buckley scissors. I love them. I have lots of, well, I'm saying I've got lots of pairs of these. I've got them in lots of different sizes for different things. But they've got one micro serrated blade, which is like a mini pinking shear. So when you cut fabric with these, it doesn't tend to fray. So it's great for applique or fussy cutting things. And I'm going to get all those horrible little pieces that luckily fell on the pattern and not on my pressing mat, and get them in the bin, because I hate all that stuff. I usually end up covered in it. I'm going to move the pattern pieces out the way. And it says clip into the corners at the top of the seam and all outer corner and all inner corners. Clip as close to the stitching without clipping the stitches. Well, yeah, that's kind of a given. And then it says, for all outer corners, yes, blah, blah, blah. We've done that. Don't cut the stitching. Turn the outer bag right side out. There's more bits of... Now, it did show you on the video, she did a funny thing. Maybe you bag people know this. She pinched the points together and then did that and said it helped. Don't know if it does or not. Can't get my finger far enough in to see. Maybe. I think probably what helps the most is, I think it does because I didn't get it right in that one. And it didn't go in as well. I'm not very good at doing this kind of thing. Hi, Terry. Welcome in. Yeah, pinching the corners does help because on the ones that I didn't do it, they don't look great so far. They will definitely need poking out with something pointy. She used a big thick knitting needle, but I like my clover thingamabob. Shalom says sometimes she wishes now it's just vanished. Sometimes she wishes they made those silicone catcher bibs for adults. You need one for when clipping things. I always end up wearing the bits. Well, some sewers like Lisa theinappropriatequilter wear aprons. I am not a fan of aprons. I don't even like wearing an apron when I'm cooking. The only time I wear an apron is at pottery. And I'm trying not to poke through these corners when I'm poking them out, because that's something that I'm really good at. Yeah, just poked through there. I don't know if you saw it. Poke the corners out and then press it. That was a noise outside that sounded like fireworks. So next weekend is very busy. I've done it again. I've poked through on that one. I've got, I want something pointy but not sharp. That might do. I've got my mum's 80th birthday on Saturday, and then Norman's birthday's on Sunday. And it's always a nightmare having the birthdays back to back like that. There's not even a day in between. It's a bit of a nightmare. Because my mum always expects a big family thing on her birthday. And I'm like, yeah, but I've got Norman's birthday too. But she expects me to do the big family thing. You've got the space, you can have everybody. I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to have everybody at my house for your birthday when it's Norman's birthday the next day. If I'm going to have everybody at the house, it sounds terrible. I'd rather do it for my husband. When we were kids, my mum didn't make a fuss of birthdays. So I do like to make a fuss of everybody's birthday. The kids, when they were growing up, always got a fuss made when it was their birthday. I'm going to get a pin and try and poke that corner out. That was the one I didn't turn, pinch in. Hi, Katie. Welcome. Thanks for joining. I hate poking out corners. I like them to look good, but I hate doing it. Not my favourite. And navy blue, the glasses are coming up now. I mean business. Navy blue fabric. It's not the best to see at night. It's not too bad in natural light, but not great at night. I made a right pixie of these corners. There, popped out. Good old pin. That one's close enough. Good enough. You'll all be sitting at home going, no, don't leave it like that. It's getting left like that. You can tell I don't normally sew bags, can't you? It's Mona should have done this. She's good at doing bags. It's because these are at a funny angle, I think. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. I'm fine with right-angled corners. Right. And I'm sure now it tells me to press, but I'm going to check the chat and see if anybody has any questions or anything. Handmade by Ying with Donna's in the house. Hi, Donna. Oh, I don't see any questions so far. I'm way behind in the chat. Yes, sharing a big birthday dinner is unthinkable. So it's her 80th, so I think we might be going. I might have her down for lunch. My mum's got dementia and her short-term memory's shot, so she keeps forgetting it's her birthday. Never mind it's her 80th birthday. So she'll just be quite happy having lunch. And I might do that because she gets quite overwhelmed at big things. We might be going out for lunch, but to be honest, it helps if the iron's back on, it's gone to sleep. I don't think going out for lunch is a good idea. I think she'll get too overwhelmed by that, but what do I know? Right, you can see how bad these corners are now, but there we go. There's the Christmas tree with the green trunk. So the next step is to stick these on. And I don't think I've done this right because it said it should be shorter than the bag. There should be a gap, so I might fold this one over again. I give it a bit of a better press, but it says it should be shorter. So I don't think either the seam allowance for the tree was too big and the seam allowance for the green bit was too small, I think, is what I've done. But it is supposed to be shorter and come in, and mine doesn't. So I'm going to fold that over again and restitch it. And then it's shorter. So I'm going to do that with both pieces so that they're shorter. And because I'm going to sew it this way up, I'm just going to change the bobbin. I'm not going to change the top thread. Keeping it real, people, keeping it real. So my 1/4 inch was on the ribbon casing was too small. I should have measured it. I just eyeballed it. I'm going to fold that over and restitch it. Might even press it before I stitch it. Look at me pretending I've got good habits. Oh, Nikki, that's quite something that they shot your camper. That could have been bad. Imagine if they'd shot and it hit the water tank or something. And luckily it's drained down, but at least they were honest and came and told you. which you don't get much of that these days. Sherry's saying her husband put up 2 of your Christmas trees today. Still need to decorate. He's really got a jump start. You are early. I thought in America you usually waited till after Thanksgiving to put your trees up. And I'm not going to move the camera around because it's going to be too ticks for these seams. And because I changed the bobbin, it's green. Oh, there's a bit of thread stuck. How dare it? I'll have to pick that out because that'll bug me. Probably need tweezers. Don't you hate when a bit of thread gets sewn in like that? If you tried to stitch it in, you'd never be able to do it. But because you don't want it there. So yeah, because I changed the bobbin, it's green on the bottom. Which is on the outside. So these get folded over. And you put one on each side. It says like this. So one on the front and one on the back. And then you sew them down. And I had that all lined up. There we go. I'm going to clip this. Even though I don't really like clips. Maybe I will pin it. Maybe pins would be better. I prefer pins to clips. I'm not very good at taking the pins off, the clips out when I'm sewing. And then the other one on the back. Fold in half. Oh, that one, look at that. I didn't even pin right through. Oh, God, give me strength. So, Sherry, you said you've got 2 of your Christmas trees up. How many do you have? I used to have loads, but now I don't. Now I only have 1 big tree that I put up. I used to do 3. 1 at the front door. 1 in the kitchen TV room, because it's just 1 big room. And 1 in the... 1 at the front door, 1 in the living room, and 1 in the kitchen. And I used to decorate the hall, the kitchen, and the living room. Last year I did the living room and that was it. You have 3. Eat your my Wheaties. I don't know what they are, Joyty. So I'm going to change the thread back to my blue thread, even though I'm stitching on the green, because this is going to get hidden, I believe. And I will move the camera back around so you can see what I'm doing. And we might just get this done in time. So it says with right sides together, no, fold the top channel piece in half, blah, blah, wrong sides together, right, centre it, clip it in place, stitch close to the edge to hold it in place. The sides of the seams should end just before, which is they now do. I'm going to stitch these down. And I will move you around, don't worry. Did you hear that? That was the chair. Not me, honestly. I did not make that noise. I'm going to move this camera around. And you can sort of see. Yeah, that's definitely a chair. I keep doing it. It's not me, honest. Even though farts are funny, and that wasn't me. I am admitting to nothing. Take the pin out. Do not sew over the pin. My granny taught me to sew. They did sew over pins. And I used to sew over pins, and I thought, I don't know what all the fuss is about. And somebody said, oh, if you break the pin, you know, and it goes flying. Well, I did one day, and it did go. That seam should be open. And I did go over the pin, and it broke, and it went pinging off my glasses. So if I hadn't been wearing glasses, it would have been right in my eye. I don't sew over pins anymore. You could still learn the hard way, but actually I think I got off lightly. Got a lucky escape. I'm going to open that seam up as well. And I realise you probably can't see anything because the bag's in the way, which isn't much good. Just go right back round to here. Right, so that's sewn on, stitched like that. And then it says, open the lining seams flat at the top. I'll probably need to press them. Don't know if finger pressing will work. Oh, yeah, not bad actually. I'll give it a wee press. Do the same on this side. Give it a wee press. And it says, with right sides together, place the outer bag into the lining. So the right side of the outside bag, I'm assuming it means, goes to the right side of the lining. And match up those seams. I'm going to put a clip in this just now till I get this one in, so I don't jab myself. I might be daft, but I'm not stupid. Now you see, it said you're to sew the bag at 3/8 lining, and I did. And now the bag is slightly smaller. The lining is smaller. So when you've got one inside the other, it doesn't feel right. Put a pin in there. I'll probably have to try and ease that out. Match up those seams a bit better. one here. This is normally, I've got a free arm on my sewing machine, but I'm not going to try and attempt to take that off on a live because I'll just knock everything flying. So you see, if you were a bag person and you didn't have people watching you, because you've no idea how off-putting that is actually, sewing like this, then you could probably rattle one of these up in about 10 minutes. And it does say a 3/8 of a seam allowance around the top. So I will move that wrong way. I will check. I'll put this to 3/8. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 3/8. And then stitch round. What was I said about not sewing over pins? And there you go, I've just done it. These pins are catching on my foot. I'm knocking everything that I had pinned accurately out of the way. So this will probably look like a dog's dinner when it comes out because they've all slipped. We shall see. It's quite a tight space actually to stitch round. I should have trimmed that wonky edge. And I just suddenly thought, oh my God, did I leave a turning gap? But yes, I did leave a turning gap. I'm going to do a finishing stitch. Right. And now we turn this the right way out. Well, Sheila, cats are notorious, but I had a friend and it wasn't her cat that destroyed the machine. This is great for turning the right way out. The trunk. It was her toddler. He decided he wanted to look at one of the decorations at the top of her tree, and her 8-foot tree with all the breakable decorations at the top went flying. With the toddler on it. Just went. But I used to keep everything breakable on my tree above tail height. I'm going to try that again. Pinch those in and turn. Oh, it's not bad. Because bassets are twisted. They're bass holes. And my last basset before Hugo and Lily used to like to reverse into the tree wagging his tail. So nothing breakable went below tail height. But yes, cats are notorious for being in trees, aren't they? Try and poke that out without the pin. So you see, you probably could do it quite quickly. You Probably could do this without a pattern. I probably could have worked it out without a pattern. I'm usually quite good at that. I'm going to give this a quick press. Pull it and give it a press to get the seams. And then stitch along the bottom. So I'll give that a quick stitch, and I'm not changing the thread because it's the inside of the lining at the bottom. And it's dark in there. If it's a light coloured lining, then yes, I would match the thread, but it's not. And I just realised I didn't turn the camera around, so you didn't see me press it, poke the corners out. I do apologise. I forget when I've moved my phone round. So Joyty was saying this is a quiet machine. This is quite a new machine, as in it's a new model. It came out 2 years ago, not last year, the year before. It's a Janome Memory Craft 9480. And one of the reasons I got this is because, and I've just realised that my battery's about to go flat. So I better plug you in. I've completely lost my train of thought there with that battery thing coming up. I poke this in. I bought it because it's got the stitch regulator. Because it used to, Bernina used to hold the pattern for it, and it's now out of whatever it is that patents run out of. So it had that, because this is a low maintenance machine. I couldn't be doing with the Bernina business of oiling them every 8 hours and all that nonsense. That is not my cup of tea. And the feet are so incredibly expensive on Berninas. This came with about every foot you could possibly need. What's Brian saying? He knocked over a tree once and tried to tell everyone you fainted. Did it work, Brian? I think I probably would have tried that too. Right, there we go. So now I need to just thread through. Hold it back here and you can see it. Thread through cord. Now I do have green. I've got golden red. I've got red Merry Christmas. I've just got baker's twine. I've got several ho 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 ones, but they're quite thick. These are quite good. It's like twill tape. There's a ho ho ho. Let It Snow, Merry Christmas, and I Believe, but I think they're too thick. I'm tempted to go with the red Merry Christmas because there's red on the gnomes for this one. The green's a bit too bright. I mean, you could just use the cord, the braid would be quite nice. Braid would certainly be easier, wouldn't it? Okay, me taking the easy option. Yeah, go for the braid. Give it a measure. Did you like how scientific that was? Now I need to find my bodkin. That'll be fun and games. It'll have vanished. I think I know where it is, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to reach it or not, because it's in my other sewing box for my hand sewing things. If not, it'll be a safety pin that wins. Oh, this has got all my hand sewing needles in it. My little house sewing box. Bodkin, bodkin, bodkin. Where are you? There's a big darning needle. I could always use that. Oh, it's not in here. I always put it back in here. That's how bizarre. Right, I'm going to use one of these big darning needles. See if that'll work. Now I was sure that bodkin was going to be there. Is this going to be? That's not going to fit through there. Never, is it? No. Safety pin it is. One more look for the bodkin. No, safety pin wins. I've just got to get a safety pin. Here's a safety pin. Big one. Do you know what'll happen? I'll get off this live and then I'll find the bodkin. So you go up one side, down the other. Tie a little knot. You'd probably want to melt these ends maybe with a lighter because they're braid. I know there's a knot tied, so it should be okay, but and then do the other side. It's going to be in the 60s. Nikki says it's going to be in the 60s, like that's cold. It's been in the 30s here this week. Low 30s. Even on the sunny days, it's been in the 30s. It's been freezing. We've had Arctic weather, Arctic winds. I don't mind if it's sunny, but there was one day, Tuesday, was wet and cold and grey and damp and horrible. And I'm not a fan of those days. When you have to have the lights on in the house all day because it never gets properly light. Nikki's not ready for winter. Yeah, you've had great weather. I thought it got cold in Missouri in the winter. So there we go. Christmas tree bag. I did it. Took me ages. I'm not used to sewing on a live stream, but there you go. It would be quicker if you, and it would still be cute if you didn't do the trunk. And I also thought it'd be cute. You could do it with felt and just stitch and then pink the edges. Just, you know, stitch, not have it lined. Just make it out of felt, which is thicker. And then you could maybe even interface the felt do the drawstring channel and just stitch down the outside and then pink the edges would be another cute idea. So yeah, so that's Notchie Sewing. There's that's the medium bag. So that's quite a good size bag for a Christmas gift, I think. It's not bad. Do you want me to measure it and see how tall it is? Finished. I'll put it on my mat round here, would be easier probably. It is, the bag measures about 7.5 inches finished. So that's not a bad size for a little gift bag. There's 3, that's the medium. The big one's huge. I'll let you see the pattern again to give you a rough idea. That's the medium. The small one is super cute and would be great for a gift card. That kind of thing. Small present, pair of earrings, something like that. And there's the big one. So the big one's quite a good size. But I'm not a bag person. I'm not. And I managed to do it. So for those of you that are into sewing bags and things, you could probably, and with a bit of it practice, you know, once you've done the first one, you could probably rattle these up really quickly. I think the bit that takes the longest is cutting out. I'm just clipping the pieces back together so I don't lose them. Is cutting out the fabric because of the zigzag side. I found it easier to put the pattern piece down. I'm going to turn this camera back round again, sorry. Put the pattern, there, you see it. Put the pattern piece down and draw around it, which is why I used cardboard, and then cut it out with scissors because of all the sort of zigzag sides, rather than trying to do it with a rotary cutter or just cut straight round the pattern. And that was the way that she did it in the video, because there is a video to go with it, which is quite helpful. And this has all come off. So yeah, that was tonight's sewing. Is the pattern, is the bag. But yes, I will sew up the other bags and post some pictures and let you see. And there's a thread, but that's not bad. It's not bad for me, a non-bag person. Wonder if you can see it glow at all if I switch that light off. Is it going to glow a bit? Well, we switch the lights off and see if it glows. You want to try that? I'll need to cover the computer screen up. I'm going to hold this button here, ready to put the light back on, because I need to switch this light off. We'll see if it glows or not. Does it? A little bit. Not much. You can't see it. I can see it. You can't really see it. Can you see it now? It is glowing a bit. It's not enough to pick up on film, probably because it was inside out all day, so it's not had been recharged. And now we're sewing by candlelight. So yes. Michelle is making an apron this week. Yeah, Michelle, having your grandson, great-grandson, must fairly cut into your sewing, because you were like a powerhouse. Nikki says she could make a small bag and give her neighbour boy some 22 ammo. Yeah, I'm sure his dad has chewed his backside out about it. But at least he came clean, which says a lot, actually. And I'm assuming his dad sent him around. Brian, there is another one that she's got that's different. It has boxed corners. that she says is the perfect size for a gift bag. So if you go on to Sewing, Notch's Sewing, it is, the link is in the description, and that'll take you to this pattern. But also, obviously, you're on the site. There is another bag, and it's got boxed out bottom, and she said it's perfect for a wine bag. So yes. And Michelle's trying to. Well, you want Brian to send you the moonshine. Does Brian make moonshine? That's interesting. Oh, Andrea's got her roof leaking, water everywhere. Oh no, that's awful. Sorry to hear that, Andrea. Yeah, water is not fun at all to deal with. Brian, you and Michelle would not be fun neighbours. You'd end up in jail, the pair of you, I think. With moonshine. Moonshine stuff. Moonshine's dangerous. And moonshine's dangerous, yeah. So yes, that's it. And I'm on late tonight, an hour and 10. Normally I try and stick to there, but there you go. I did get a bag done. I was hoping to have a couple of these sewn up before I started to show you at the beginning of the night, not at the end of the night. Andrea, I hope you get your leaks sorted. Have you got a storm just now, or is it just heavy rain? Joyce is talking about many knocked down trees, so I'm assuming there's storms again in the US. I'm sure you can handle your liquor, Michelle, but I don't think you can drink about a full pint jar before feeling the effects. Oh my God. I would probably be in I'm a lightweight when it comes to alcohol, so I would probably end up in hospital getting my stomach pumped. Brian saying, get the neighbour with the future inmate son to make moonshine. But he's not a future inmate because he did come clean. He was honest. If I had been that boy, there's no way in hell I would have owned up to that. My mum would have battered me black and blue for doing that, and then made me go and apologise. Yeah, Brian and Michelle as next door neighbours would be dangerous. The water leaks up in the attic. Is it one of your pipes then? Oh no. We had that the other year. Married to a plumber. Did I know where to switch the water off? No, because that's what he does. Why do I need to know these things? Was he here when it happened? Of course he wasn't bloody here. And I thought, what's that noise? And I walked into the hall and the water was pouring through the ceiling. Absolutely pissing down. And I was just like, oh my God, Christopher was sound asleep in his bed. I'm like, get up, get up. And of course, we've got hard floors everywhere. So the thing for turning the water off was moved, and it's right at the back of the cupboard in Evie's bedroom. And Evie's a pack rat, so our cupboard was full. So I had to empty out our cupboard. Then I couldn't get the thing turned. Got Christopher, he managed to turn it, got the water off, but the water took ages to stop coming through the ceiling. And all the insulation and everything in the attic was all soaked. It was awful. Can you not switch your water off? Or is it a burst tank or something? Because maybe if you manage to switch the water off, it'll stop any more coming through. But yeah, I'm sorry, Andrea, because water is awful. Lots of towels, basins, buckets. And don't switch the lights on because it comes through the lights. I learnt that as well. So anyway, thank you for joining me on this auspicious day when I reached 400 subscribers, which I'm chuffed to bits about. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's watching Zaza attempt to sew. And again, thanks for coming. And my mind's just gone blank and I've had a brain fart. You missed it, Terry. Yes. Hello and goodbye. So, yes. So, be appropriately inappropriate and make someone smile today. Goodbye. If you feel so inclined, give me a thumbs up. It would be greatly appreciated. And if you're not subscribed, and again, you feel so inclined, please do so. And I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.